What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts, and we're going to take a look at what areas to be watching for. Could we get one more leg up before our big leg down, or will we continue down from here? We're going to start out with the bigger time frames. A lot of people don't like to do that because the bigger time frames are still bearish. I don't care what anybody says. They're still showing bearishness in the macro, and I'll explain why. Also, we're going to take a look at some other bubble pops real quick just to see how they bubble so you can see kind of what I'm seeing. Make sure, before we go any further, take a second out, scroll down, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. As a matter of fact, let me know what you think the daily close is going to be. I want to see if anybody gets it. If anybody gets it dead on, I'll throw you $100. So let's see what's going on. Let's take a look at, first of all, the Dow Jones. And I'm going to make an adjustment here. Maybe I'm still watching this trend line, though. If we close the daily below here, as you can see in the RSI, we are back down below our RSI resistance. So we popped up above it, and now we have come down below. It is looking pretty bearish. Let's see where this closes. Another way you could draw this, if I go from, let me show you. If I go from this low over here, because you want alternate touches, and I know I didn't have alternate touches there, but we go from there to here. We have a touch on the bottom. Actually, I'm going to change the color of this one so you can see it. We had a touch on the bottom, touch on the top, touch on the bottom, touch on the top, alternate touches. So if we break this high at 34,300 points, then it looks like we're going to continue bullish, maybe get that next leg up possibly. Otherwise, I think we come all the way back down, and we have topped out in the Dow. Now, the DXY is still bullish. You guys knew we were looking for a bounce down here off of this channel. Our next stop is around this 112. If it goes faster, it would be around 111, somewhere in there. But I do expect us to come up. If we break this top, come down, get support, then it is probably going to crash all markets. Now, let's look at the monthly. As you guys know, on the monthly here, I've been bullish since way down in here on the DXY while everybody else was screaming it's going to die. As you can see, my targets are way up here into the 170 to 180 in the next few years. That is a very good possibility. We do have targets around 120 first. Now, this doesn't mean it shoots straight up. This will probably take years, but that's what I'm looking at there. Here is our monthly. We're still getting rejected at our 55 EMA at 24.5. And this is a picture. I've talked about Bitcoin being in one bull run since its existence, right? The traditional markets have been in a bull market since Bitcoin was created. I do think this is a 5-wave structure, that we are in our actual first bear market. Everybody talks about the 4-year cycles. I don't believe in the 4-year halving cycle. For one, there's more Bitcoin every day. If it's so rare, why wouldn't everybody buy it right now? I'm not saying it's not rare, but they act like it gets more rare. It doesn't get more rare because there's more created every day. So I do think there will be a time to buy. It's probably going to be next year. We've talked about that. I'll go over that also in this video. But I do think this will be our first real bear market. This could take years, and I'll show you why. So this is our weekly, and we've been looking at every time we break our trend right here, we take our measured move. This one started with the rising channel, the measured move of the rising channel, got us our target here. We bring it down to when we broke, using that as a flagpole, got us down to our next one. So this one, if it does break, get us down to about the 8,200, somewhere in that range, depending on if, when, and where it breaks. As you can see right now on the weekly, we are below the 8 EMA. If we remain below this, that's extremely bearish in the macro. No matter what, the macro is still pretty bearish. We made this chart on December 2nd. It does seem to be playing out beautifully. I've been talking about a false bottom down here at the maybe $6,000 to $8,000 range, get a rally up at the end of the year, getting everyone bullish again into next year, just to make another low. I do think we will see these levels. As you can see, I've pointed out over here that once we broke this trend line, that was this little pump right here on the weekly. So everyone would get extremely bullish, break above, and come back down for a retest. I think we'll see the same type thing here. Once this breaks, that'll be our false bottom, right? And then come back down for a retest. Now let's take a look at, this is Sony. Sony, it has been 20 years since its top. You can see here, and it still hasn't broke its all-time high. Now, Amazon took 10 years to break its all-time high, so I do think it'll be 8 to 10 years from the top to see Bitcoin break its all-time high. But as you notice, every time you get a big rally like this, it comes down to the median, guys, all the way back down. And Sony was a big company that actually made money for people. So that's how the big players work, guys. They take advantage of these rallies and then they dump on people all the way down. I've showed you when I first made this chart, I talked about you get a big dump, everyone gets all bearish, and then you get a pump up. Everybody's bullish again, doesn't want to sell, and then it comes down to make a lower low. Then everyone wishes they would have sold up here, only to get bullish again when it comes back up, not breaking its high here, and then coming back down to a lower low. Everyone's all bearish again, wish I'd have sold up here, and then when it pumps, everybody holds on thinking that was the bottom. How many times have you heard the bulls call the bottom all the way down here? A lot, and you'll probably hear that a lot more in the next year or so. But back over to here, you can see it's been 20 years, still hasn't broke its all-time high. These are bubble pops, guys. We've had a bubble pop in Bitcoin, I believe. This is Nintendo. It's been 15 years, still didn't break its all-time high. You can see here. So just something to look at. I know people expect Bitcoin is in a 4-year cycle and it has to break. I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm saying you need to look at these possibilities that it won't happen. So if you're buying in here, just be willing. Be using money you don't need and you won't need for years to come, because you may not see these prices again for a long time. All right, looking at the weekly, this is our macro weekly log chart. These are Fibonacci channels in here. We also have this resistance level, and we've been watching it for a while. Told you if we get wicks above, we'll most likely keep closing below that. We are still getting rejected here. Now, if we get above this fib is around 26.3, we get above this fib and get support, then it's possible we can start talking about maybe the bottom's in. But until then, I'm not convinced at all that we've seen a bottom. I think we have much lower to go. If you guys are interested in trading, we're going to go into the smaller time frames. We'll go into the 4-hour all the way down into the 1 hour to see what's going on now. But if you guys are interested in trading, check out Prime XBT, link down below. By far the best exchange. You can hedge your trades so you can have multiple trades in instead of being stuck in a trade. If it goes bad, you can put another trade in without them clumping them all together. And you can trade Forex, Bitcoin, altcoins, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything from one exchange. You can use my promo code SAVVY50. That'll give you up to a $7,000 bonus. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off of your trading fees, which is huge. There is also a tutorial. If you go to my YouTube page, look at my playlists, and you'll see the Prime XBT tutorial there. But anyways, let's look at the daily. So on the daily, as you guys know, we had our target. Once we broke this here, our target was down here to the 24.3. And I'd said if we got below that, that would become major resistance. This is what I'm looking for as a possibility here. Come all the way back down. Now, this is showing a possible bounce at the 17.7 area if we do get back down to these levels. If we do, we may hang out there for a while before breaking down, come up, test for support. This is one possibility. The other possibility, let me show you that in the 4-hour. So you can see here, these blue lines were the low before we started our flag right back here. This one was 33,000. So everyone thought for sure 33,000 was the bottom, right? And it was going to hold. Even if we did a retest, it would be a double bottom, and it blew right through it. And then if you zoom in here, it did not come back up to tag that again. Okay, now where we're at now, this is the low. Everyone expected that to hold. Do you remember? Everyone calling the bottom was in right here at 25. It wasn't going to go lower, never below 20. And then when we came down here, blew right through it. Now we've came up and we have not broken that low. A lot of people got really bullish there, thinking that we would blow right through it, we're going to 30,000. Now there is still a possibility of the 28. We've talked about that, and we'll look at that here in a minute. We do have this resistance level up here at about the 28.5 range, but we cannot get back above this 25,331. I don't see it happening. Now, if you get above this 25,331, I would expect it heading towards that 28.5, but we also have more resistance we'll take a look at in the next video or the next chart. But if we look at what's going on here, we take this measured move of the flagpole, bring it down just like when we broke here. Where would that get us? That would get us somewhere into the $8,000 to $9,000 range showing on here. That's if we don't get the bounce at 17.6, which if you're looking at smaller time frames, it's going to bounce around there, obviously. But if we blow through this, our next stop's about 16. Then we have some resistance at 14. We'll take a look at that right now. So all in all, if you're looking for a big trade, there's no reason to get in it now. If you think we're going to continue down from here, maybe a good spot. I'll show you in the next chart. It's the 1 hour chart, what I think is happening here. But we do have, let me show you. So if we break this 20,800 range, I'm looking for this 14 to 15,000, right? Now, if we go up and we break this 27,000 range, then we have our 28. First, let me be clear, 25,331. We have to break that to then look for a possibility at 27. 28.5 would be our next resistance. And if we measure this as a rising broadening wedge, could get us as high as 33. But we have to break that 25,331 first. A lot of people say, you say it can go up or it can go down. I gave you the points to watch. 25,331. If we break above that, then we can start looking for 27,000. If we break that, 28,000. But if we cannot break this 25,331, we continue to the downside. Right now, our major support is the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. That is 23,235. We break below that and then if that turns into resistance, then we're looking at 20,800 range. If we break this bottom trend line at any time, our next targets are 14.7 down to around the $8,000 to $9,000 range. Again, we'll be more specific and get a more detailed target once we have a break one way or the other. But within here, nothing huge is happening until one of these trends are broken. All right, now let's look at the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, if we look at this, what do we see? Possible head and shoulders, right? This was the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We drew our trend line across the bottom. And how you do a measured move of that, you go from the top of the head all the way straight down to the neckline, and then you bring that down to where the neckline broke. And what target does that give us? Around 22,100. How does that get invalidated? Well, that gets invalidated if you cross this 23.7. So if you get up, cross the 23.7 and get support, then this is invalidated. So as of right now, as long as we're below 23.7, this is my next target, 22,100. That's what I'm looking at now. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, smash the like, share the video if you would, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already for daily updates, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.